Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I want to talk about Big Baby Jared Anderson's performance versus Charles Martin this past weekend. Hometown fight. This was his biggest step up in competition versus a former world champion. I believe this is the very first former world champion that Jared Anderson has been in the ring with. And it was a fantastic card. Had a lot of Ohio guys, Tiger Johnson, Abdullah Mason. Those guys looked incredible that night. It was a really good card just to watch some up and coming talent and pretty much the future of the sport. But Jared Anderson, himself being one of these guys who are supposed to be a part of that future of boxing, especially the heavyweight division. I know he mentioned that he ain't got too long, to for his career. He want to get in and get out. Said that he's looking to retire around, I think he said 27, 28 years old. And I understand that, he has goals and aspirations, and he got a plan, so hopefully he's able to accomplish his goals within that short period of time. And who knows, maybe, he gets to a certain level and decides that he wants to push it further. So that was a very interesting take from Jared Anderson as far as how he views himself going forward in the sport of boxing. Nonetheless, he's 23 years old right now, just had his first big step up versus Charles Martin. And Charles Martin, being a southpaw, a veteran guy, very experienced, been in the ring with Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz. I mean, this guy has been in there with some of the best heavyweights over the last, recent times. He's been in there with some of the top guys. And, I knew that Charles Martin would show. I went into that, watching that fight, expecting Charles Martin to at least push Jared Anderson past the 6th round, which ultimately he did. This is the first time that Jared Anderson had been past the 6th round, let alone going the distance. It was a 10-round fight. I thought that maybe if it was 12 rounds, he possibly could have got a late round stoppage. But at the same time, Jared Anderson ended up getting hit with a shot in the last round, like literally at the bell, and that kind of shook him up a little bit. So let's talk about the fight. Jared Anderson came out looking good the first 4 rounds. I had Jared Anderson winning a clean sweep, putting his punches together, using his jab, very sharp. Defense was decent. As you saw later on in the fight, or in the middle rounds, and then continuing on later on in the fight, he started to get caught with Charles Martin's straight left hand because he was moving backwards in a straight line and not really, showing no head movement or giving no angles, just moving straight back, getting out the way or trying to get out the way. He was doing that in the first 4 rounds, but I guess with his energy and stamina being more fresh at that time, he was able to get out the way, able to avoid those big shots. And then plus, Charles Martin didn't really start throwing the jab straight left with conviction and like really committing to that shot. He didn't really start doing that until the middle rounds. And that's when he started to land those left hands on Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson got hit a few times with some big left hands, moving straight back, and he showed that he got a chin. He showed that he got a really good chin on him. He was definitely hurt. I thought he was hurt bad, but he disguised it very well. Had a really good poker face from rounds 5, round 6, and then he started to get back on his jab and put his punches together. Get back to his boxing, and he was switching from orthodox to southpaw. And I really can't say that he had a lot of success in the southpaw stance, because to me it seemed like when he was, in the southpaw stance, he was getting hit with shots. He was getting hit with shots in orthodox as well. But I think for Jared Anderson, him switching back and forth, it was able to kind of give Charles Martin a different look and allow him to, cut that distance down so he can start putting his punches together. So I guess there was some benefit there. But for the most part, I really didn't see too much benefit with him switching. I thought he was boxing well, in the first 4 rounds in orthodox. Overall, it was a decent performance. He didn't go down. He showed that he got heart. You can tell that it was pressure on him in his hometown. I don't know if that was the reason he was a little lax on defense. This is something that we've seen before with Jared Anderson. I mean, he ain't, he got decent defense, but that flaw of moving straight back and not really creating no angles and using no head movement, I think that's something that we've been seeing over the course of his young career. And now somebody has finally taken advantage of that. I think we'll see a theme of that going forward where guys try to take advantage of that the more he steps up in competition. I think what we learned in this fight is that, number one, Jared Anderson, he got a chin on him. He able to take a shot from a pretty decent puncher. Charles Martin I think he had have a high 80% knockout ratio. Like, this dude got real power and is heavyweight. And Charles Martin is a bigger guy. Jared Anderson in this era of heavyweights, he's not a huge guy. He's about 6'3". These other guys are, 6'5" and up on average. You know what I'm saying? So, he's going to be the smaller man in most of his fights. So to be able to, he going to have to work on that defense and get sharper on defense, because you can't be taking too many shots from these bigger guys that's hitting like that. You feel what I'm saying? So what I learned is that Jared Anderson, number one, he got some work to do on the defense for sure. Definitely got some work to do. I would like to see a little bit more foot movement when it comes to slipping those punches, getting out the way, creating angles, and not just moving back in a straight line. I would love to see him keep his hands up more instead of, he fight like a lower class guy, like a middleweight or junior middleweight, you know what I'm saying, welterweight. He put his combinations together very different from any other heavyweight. The only other guy that put his punches together like that you can maybe compare to that's in the game right now is maybe like a Alexander Usyk, who is a guy coming up from cruiser, or a Andy Ruiz who who throws punches in bunches. But this guy really puts his punches together. You know what I'm saying? But it's, again, you got to keep your hands up, can't keep your hands low. Again, I also felt like we learned that Jared Anderson got heart. He got a chin. He got hit with some big shots and he didn't go down. He was out on his feet, but still, weaving. I'm talking about big ass shots coming, and this dude is clearly hurt. You know what I'm saying? But he weaving. He was poised. He had his wherewithal. Another thing that I learned, he was very poised and very aware of the situation, and he didn't fold under that pressure. It would have been easy for him while he was hurt to just say, fuck it, damn. You know what I'm saying? And this dude's still throwing big ass heat with them left hands. But Jared Anderson, like I said, he was able to withstand that. Got to the finish line, got hit with a big shot at the end of the 10th round. That shook him up a little bit, but he ate that one too. Jared Anderson got a decent chin on him. He got a nice chin on him. You know what I'm saying? He got a decent chin. So I would like to see him work on his defense for sure. I think they should, move him along a little bit. Take their time with him. Put him in there with somebody else that could, take him the distance again, or at least, get some more rounds in the bank to see if he can stay sharp over the course of the whole fight and not lose concentration and not lose his discipline on defense. I want to see him continue to go rounds before they put him in there with, somebody because I don't think that he's ready for Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. I don't think he's ready for any of those guys right now. Alexander Usyk with them left hands, I don't think he's ready for none of that right now. You know what I'm saying? Take his time. I think he needed a good 2 or 3 more fights where he can build, work on his defense, get a few more rounds in, and then, then step up to the big dogs. I say somewhere he said he wants to fight at least 2 more times this year. So I think, middle to end of next year is when he need to start looking at stepping in the ring with those top guys. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How did y'all feel about Big Baby Jared Anderson's performance? What do you see next for him? Do you think he's ready for the top guys right now? Do you think he need a little bit more seasoning? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Contender Regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.